I thought I share my journey as the new GM of the LA Chargers in the RZB League. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hear there's a lot of good competition in this league, so let's look over this roster and see what kind of team I inherited. I know I was looking over the teams, the players that we have, and it's just been, I don't know, a bowl of soup. There's a couple of good guys that I can see that I can work with, but most of the team is, I don't know, call it scrap heap. Amos Brooks, quarterback. Not bad. Not someone I would want as a quarterback, but I can work with him. Maybe I can trade him next season. If he has a very, very good year, I might hold on to him. But most likely, I might want to trade him. So I'm guessing there might be GMs in our league that might need a quarterback like Brock. For the first week, we're right now in going into week 2, but week 1, he wasn't too bad. But week 1 is always an outlier since everyone's getting their legs underneath them. 62%, 332 yards, 13.28 per catch, 8.30 yards per average, and 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pretty good. I like. He's working in my system that I put together. Our wide receivers are not too bad. I franchise Dugan, and I gave him an extension contract, so he's with us for another 3 more years. Good downfield running, good route running. I can work with him. He also had, let's take this away, he also had a good week 1 where he had 75% of his catchings, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 11.42 average yards per target. Let's see what his miscellaneous was for third down. His red zone was 50%, and he was 50% on third down conversions, which is good. I like that. One thing was I picked up, most people know, a wide receiver, rookie. I spent the first round of this year's first round and the following year's first round to get this guy. And he hit a wall. I'm hoping that maybe he can creep up. Right now he's at 55% developed. I'm not seeing it. I'm very bummed out about the endurance. That one is one of the biggest things that I'm upset about. He did well for week 1. Can't complain about this. So he's working in the slot position. He's been targeted 5 times. He caught all 5 passes, 71 yards, 14.20 average target. Didn't get any touchdowns, but I'm pleased with that. I will take this throughout the season if he does this all the time. Then for me it would be a win-win at the end of the day. So let's see where Smedley goes with this thing. But yeah, this draft for most of the GMs, but I know for myself, was not good. Bunch of backup players, maybe not even backup players, but I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to play them. I'm going to see what they can do. See what works. My other wide receiver, Brandon Bonjour, and he had an okay game. Not happy with the 50% catching. 65 yards, 8.13 yards per target, 1 touchdown, 1 drop. I need to figure out this guy, how to make him better. I'm going to see week two. Week two, we play Atlanta Falcons, tough team. I believe that's Max who has that team. I looked over their roster. Um, it's a pretty good team. I want to see how Brandon handles himself there. So we'll work on the game plan to see how we can get those completions up on him. My tight end, Josh Davis. Now I picked up a tight end with Max from Atlanta. I paid a fourth for him. Gregory reminds me of a tight end I have in another league who has been putting up a lot of yards and touchdowns for me. And he's similar to this, even though his bars are not showing it. My other tight end did the same. So I'm hoping, right now he's at 81% developed. These bars look almost complete. Maybe if he goes to 100, it's going to pop past those bars. We shall see. But in the end, I'm going to see how he plays out. The bummer is he dislocated his knee week 1, so he's out for 4 weeks. Great. He's 22, so we'll grow with him. And if he doesn't work out, so be it. It only cost me a fourth. Josh Davis, not my guy. Too expensive. $14 million. I doubt he'll be here next season. I don't feel like paying $14 million for a tight end. It's not my kind of thing. I'm sure a lot of people in the market will be picking him up. So we shall see how he's going to play tomorrow. But yeah. Let's see, who else do we have? Running backs for me are a dime a dozen. Brewer, not much to say. Good hole recognition. He's at 50. As long as he's 50 for me, works. It was 10 for 37, 3.70 yards per carry, which is not good. Pretty crappy for week 1. And got to see about getting him more screens, getting him more in the passing game. Let's see here. Yeah, he was only targeted one time, one catch for 11 yards. See if we can make that a little better. Oh, my other running back is Westfall. Let's see him. He's a little better. 7 carries. 69 yards. 9.8. 30-yard was the longest. So if you take away 30, he's got 39 yards on then 6 carries. Not bad. 5 yards carry. And a touchdown. And again, his whole recognition is at 56 for me. My scouts are showing. His endurance is just enough since I share carries with my backs. So they'll probably get between 15 to 12 carries apiece. But again, this is more about seeing who fits my system, who works, who doesn't work, and then build around that player. Now, there's other players on the team that they look good that I'm going to build around them. However, I just still want to see everyone. Our center, which we're going to need one, he's already up there. He's 33 years old. I like this guy. Very smart. Barely gives up any sacks. What did he do? So he is, so 0.8, 0.6, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9, all the way good. I like this guy. Too bad he wasn't younger. Maybe if he's good, maybe I'll franchise him next season. Hold on to him. because of I'm not going to get a center in the draft, most likely because I don't have a first round pick, and usually centers are not out there. Another guy I liked, he actually got hurt, but here is Bill Glover. I like this guy. 24 years old. I can build around him. He's someone that's going to be a keeper. So, smart, 24, big guy. Let's see here. Now, he gave up a lot of sacks, so I'm not sure if he's given up sacks because of the system he was in last time. So, this is someone I like to monitor. So, 66%. But let's see. If he's a sack machine, it's not going to do it for me. So we're going to monitor him, but he's someone I like to keep and build with. Next guy as well is Clayton. Like this guy, 25. Oh, I take that back. Clayton I do not like because of his low intelligence. That's not good. Now his sacks last season were down. He's at 0.7, which is good. He's at 34. He had 29 run blocks. So he's at 42 now. He's probably going to be an average of 30, 33 run blocking, and if he can stay at 0.3, but I know his penalties are up. But if he does more positive plays than penalty plays, I might hold on to him. It's going to depend. So I have to see how many penalties Clayton does throughout the season. Who else is there? Let's look at the guard here. Gomez. Okay, week 1, didn't give up a sack. He was 3 for 5, so not bad. Actually very good. Intelligence is average. Again, he's someone I have to watch for penalties to see where it's at. But if he does more good than bad, we'll hold on to him until we can replace him. And he'll be a good backup then for us, for depth. Now he's 29. We'll have him maybe until he's 33, 34. So let's see how it goes with that. But not too bad. Quinn. Now Quinn didn't play. I didn't play him because we had someone else in. Quinn is 27. He hasn't really played for the other GM that had him on the team. So we're going to see where he's at. High intelligence, I like that. Big guy. He's 27. He's got good bars and stuff like that. So let's see how he does. Quinn's more of a backup role, but can flip in for a starter. He can be a swing guy, back and forth on my team. He's coming in for Bittner. Bittner got hurt in week 1. And Bittner is a guy that I'm going to grow with. He's 23. He is smart. Week 1, he came in and he only played for 26 passing plays and 9 run plays. So we really haven't had a chance to see what he can do, but he's someone I like to keep and he's affinity with Bill Glover. All in all, on the offensive line, it's decent that I can work with. Not too bad. The receivers I have, like going back, they're all aging. You know, he's 31, Dugan. Brandon is 30. And Joseph Melvin, who I placed on the trade block, no one seems to want him. He's at 28. I don't like red flag players. However, if I have to franchise him next season and keep him as a backup, I will. It depends on how much he'll want as a salary. Because if Smedley does very well, then I have 3 wide receivers and I don't need a 4th. So we'll see how it goes with the season. Right now, Melvin Joseph is sitting at 4th place, 4th position as wide receiver. Waiting for someone to be injured to take their place. Let's see next. Punter, really can care less. Kicker, I care a lot. He, again, he's not someone really I want. I want better accuracy. He's 2 for 3. He already missed a field goal. It's a good thing that we had enough points. If not, it can lose a game for us. So, not really thrilled for this guy. Anyway, he's 34. He'll probably be gone next season, and I'll be looking for a kicker. Defense. Now, defense for me is important. And, again, has to work with my game plan. And it's just a mishmash of guys on this team that I'm trying to make it work. Left defensive end. Revolve. 27 years old. 6'4". Not bad. Again, it's the first game, so they haven't really been tested. 2 tackles, a sack, 1 hurry, 3 knockdowns, which I love. Love to get hurries, love to get knockdowns. Very important. Pass rush percentage, 7.1. Good. Let's see if he can keep it up. I don't like that his endurance is down. However, in my system, he can get the rotations and work. So let's see. Next is Shalhas. Devin Shalhas. I think that's how it's pronounced. 25 years old. First game really didn't do much. 1 tackle, 1 assist. No hurries, no sacks, no block, no quarterback knockdowns. So, again, monitor. Let's see if they work with us. But good endurance, I like it. Play die, like. He's a starter for me. So let's see if he can do some damage as the season goes on. Nose tackle for us, Dole. Solid guy up front. He's 30 years old, so we need to get a nose tackle to follow up. Right now he'll be in. If we can't find anyone, we'll hold on to him for another 2 years, maybe 3. 2 tackles, 3 hurries, one quarterback knockdown. I like 7.1 pass rush percentage, which is good for a defensive tackle, nose tackle. So happy about that. Pressure, pressure, pressure on quarterbacks for me is key. And he can stuff the run. And the other guys now, it's just figuring out what we can do. This person, Tali, undrafted. We were looking at him. We're seeing if he can work as backup. So in the backup role, he can work. 24 years old, 6'2". We'll see what he does. Next guy we have is, let's see, this guy we picked him to draft. Got him in the second round, pick 21. And as you can see, really nothing happened. I was hoping that his pass rush technique was up, but that didn't happen. So he's still growing, 39% developed. Let's see at the end, in a year or two, where he's at. However, backup role for me is fine, and I'll take that. He's 23, 6 feet, 300 pounds. So we'll see. Flowers, 10-year, he's not going to be with us. 33 years old, he'll be out the door. So now we have two guys who are not active. Ian Gibbons, as you can see, nothing to show, really nothing to see here. He's on the team. And Omar again, is 24 years old. Maybe I can work with him as a backup. So we'll see. Like I said, I have slim pickings here, so I got to make this defense work. If anyone goes down from the starters, it's gonna be pretty tough. Linebackers, my favorite, which is not. Let's see. Let's start with strong outside linebacker. 25 years old, on his short side. Decent run, pass strength, good zone. Let's see what he did week 1. 5 tackles, 2 assists, 1 block, pass coverage. 3 were thrown at him, 2 deflected. So, not bad. 84% on PD percentage. Well, let's see what this guy can do. He had a good first week. Again, first week is outlier. We'll see what else happens in week 2 against Atlanta. Let's now go into strong inside linebacker, McGee. Oops. Let's put this back. So McGee, what did you do week 1? 2 tackles. Nothing against pass, and no one passed on him. I like his bars. He works. He's 31 years old, so he won't be here. So, but it's a band-aid to make it work. He was on Pitt as a backup there. So let's see what we can do with him here. Next up is weak inside linebacker, Henderson. Okay, Henderson. Henderson had 4 tackles. He was very busy for week 1. So you have 4 tackles, 1 hurry. On passing, they threw on him and they caught 1. That's about it. "31 years old. He's going to be out the door. Our whole linebacker core needs a rehaul. So we'll work with what we have. Our weak outside linebacker is Hines. 5 tackles, 3 assists, sack and a half. Half a sack. No hurries, no quarterback knockdowns for week 1. And on pass, they caught a pass on him, but no deflects. Yeah. Again, to me, linebackers care less about them really. Now we're going into our defensive backs. Now, Todd Tanyavuti. In any event, like this guy, extended his contract. 26 years old, 6'1". Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can get more pass deflections with our team. Right now, he was throwing out 3 times, 1 deflect, and on defense, 4 tackles, 3 assists. But I'll build around this guy, definitely. Left cornerback, Forbes, which I'm gonna move from here. He's still too green. I wanted to see what he can do week 1, and wasn't that good. So he needs to build up his thing, his bars, see where they are. On week 1, he was thrown out 4 times, didn't do anything. 68 PD, which is awful. 7 tackles, 1 assist. Really doesn't mean anything to me because I can't tell. Maybe it was because he was getting burnt and he was tackling receivers downfield, for all I know. However, Forbes, again, too green. Need to get him more developed. Blades, we have in nickel. So Blades was playing. 31 years old. Again, another player who's not going to be on the team for long. But I got to keep these players until we find their replacements. Week 1, what did he do? He was thrown out 3 times, 1 deflect, 77 PD, and on defense, 4 tackles, 1 assist. Going into now Rogers, what I did, but I'll get back to Rogers. Let's go look at Browning. Brownie is 27 years old. He's right now inactive. Not bad actually for a backup that can work. So let's see if I can work him in. He's got good intelligence as well. So right now he doesn't have any stats because I didn't play him. He's deactivated. And now we're going to get into the safeties. What I did was on free safety, I brought Rogers up to play the free safety. And Rogers here, 1 was thrown at him, deflected, 85 on a PD, and 1 tackle. So my free safeties are not that great, so I wanted to bring him up and take that position for now. Again, this is scotch tape and glue. I'm just pasting and putting guys and doing whatever I can to make this thing work. Evans. Now, Evans is at the end of his career. He's 34 years old. Great safety. He would be somebody, if he was young, is like my core guy. Hopefully he can hold on this season and not fall off the cliff. Pass coverage, 2 caught on him, no deflection. 8 tackles, 3 assists, half a sack. So, again, let's see what happens, but he can have an amazing season, which would be great for us. And then he's going to be gone. He might retire, or I don't know. We'll see. And then my other guy, Swift. This is a person we picked up in the draft in 3rd round, and as you can see, fell apart, fell off the cliff. 22 years old, 5'11", but hey, it's what it is. Then we have Young, 30 years old, again, aging, free safety, good backup, and we'll work him there. And the last one is Florio. Now, Florio is about a free safety, and so basically I'll probably put him in to take over for Rogers. The thing is, I like a better interception bar, so we shall see. But that is the team, as you can see, what I'm working with, which is great. I actually like taking over a team, and then you're taking it and you're gonna build it to what you like, what works with your game planning. I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 game plans that I'll use, that I'll have the players see which one works with what. Now, first week we did play. We played Denver, our first one. Let's look at our schedule. So we went up against Denver. We won 33-10. So we have 448 yards of offense. Happy about that. 116 yards of rushing and 332 yards of passing. 3rd down, 6 of 13, was key for me. We fumbled, but we recovered. We did get their fumbles, which was good. Don't like that they were 6 of 15 against us on 3rd down. Here is an issue. We were in the red zone 4 times, and we only came away with 1 touchdown and 1 field goal. Not good. That is not going to cut it. $25 of 40, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 103 quarterback rating, passing rating, I meant. Spread the ball around. Very happy about that. On their side, we were able to stop their quarterback. Only held it to 196. The other quarterback came in, put up another 52. Run defense, we stuffed them, which is good. I like that. Yeah. Next up we have is going to be Atlanta. So That's going to be a good test for us to see how good this team is. Big thing to look at. I was looking before. So red zone, we're all the way at the bottom, 2.5. 2.5. Awful. However, we're in the middle of the pack. We get the ball down there. We're just not putting it in. On defense, we're keeping people out so far. 3.5. I like it lower. And we're down at the bottom where they're not getting it down there. Passing. Short pass is 8.35. League average is 6. 70%, 67%. We're 46% of medium passes, 54, not good. 513, 771, awful for medium passing. 80% on long, 36, very good. 17 and 9, so we're very good there. So these two are good. Got to fix the game plan for the medium passing. Let's see, where are we sitting? We're +1 here. So, like that. Not bad. I like to get this down. So, all in all, it's going to be a nice journey. To see what I can do with this team, the way it is. We did add some free agents. We'll see. But again, week 2 is tomorrow. We'll take a look. We'll see how we do. Even though we scored 33 points and allowed 10 week 1, it can be flipped on week 2. That's about it. And I'll try to keep you guys posted on this team and how the franchise of the Chargers is going. I think it'll be fun. I like doing these things. And let's see where we go with this team. Let's see if we can win a bowl, or how long it will take us to win a bowl. But that's about it. Okay, fellas, have a good one.